Hey, welcome to Non-Perishable Goods Podcast, and I am Stacey,
And I am Bishop.
and we are so glad you're here to spend your time with us. And what was I going to say? This show, I have been wanting to talk about the brain for so long, and we are finally doing it. Because with a lot of things in life, I'm just fascinated by many things, but especially the way that we have been created, evolved, whatever you want to call it. So today we're going to talk about the brain. And it's going to be a little bit different. I mean, we're going to have a discussion, but with non-perishable goods, I've always wanted to be a resource that is discussing current topics and that it informs us to live this life to the best of our ability as possible with all the external factors that are going on in life. Um, I just think this is a really important show to know how our brains work and what makes up our brain because today in society, a lot of us are suffering from mental health issues. There's like great numbers of depression, anxiety, and I think those are the top issues that are, if it's not a chronic or a permanent disorder in people's lives, like we all kind of slip in and out of states of worry, states of sadness for so many reasons. And anything you want to throw in at this moment, my dear sir?
The towel.
He's already quitting. He's already over this conversation. But so yeah, so like I mean just globally, we're inside of a mental health crisis all over the world. Because in America sometimes when things happen, we just think, hey,
Irrationally.
or it's just happening to us, or we're the only people in this world that matters, but this is happening
I don't see how because everybody's
everywhere.
on TikTok.
What do
And
you
they're
mean?
like, everybody's on TikTok and YouTube. They got their own channels. They got their own like doom and gloom YouTube channels. They have their own doom and gloom like TikToks and sharing, their despairs and issues and crying on TikTok and crying and sharing. Like, no, we don't want to hear that shit, but people are listening. So
Yeah, because
it
I
used to be
mean,
just Facebook. I personally and know people, and I myself have just put depressing stuff on there. Just as an outlet
right.
because I didn't want to tell you got my friends and stuff. I just put it on Facebook and have anybody on there just respond or not respond. You know
Right.
what I'm
And
saying?
and I mean, if you look at that, I think people do that because they want to, like you said, an outlet, but maybe to feel that whatever they went through, it could help somebody else, perhaps. I
Which
don't
yeah,
know.
because people will go on there like in TikTok, like on the comment section and be like, oh, hang in there, or don't despair, or do this, or go to counseling, or share their own experience. Like even on Reddit, you know, I'm on the I feel so lonely subreddit because I'm just curious about other people on there, and plus I like to like give them positive information, offer me affirmations, and I'm not the only one doing that.
Right.
So I guess yeah, I get it helps. I guess I was talking shit, but I was just talking shit.
Right, right, right. But I mean, people have their different ways or uses of social media, but it's also like it's just I don't know. I think it's good to not feel alone and to have like support, even if it may be like faux support.
Well, that's my
Or
left brain working, right? Because that's my emotional, my sympathy part that's working. And back in the days, like I really do feel like I had an MPD, and I think I fixed that because
what's an
before,
MPD? What's
well,
MP?
my narcissism. I
Mm.
think I really did have narcissism like crazy. Like I didn't care about anybody, even like my friends. Like I had my friends be like, I had one particular friend say, You should be glad that I'm your friend because you like don't care about anybody. Like, and we're
Mm.
still here, you know. I don't know if you experienced that with me, Stacey, but I've, been a dick. I've been a dick for a long time.
But I've accepted it. I've accepted your
See, no, that's the problem. You enabled it.
right.
So now I'm like doing my part. Like I did my apology tour, and I feel like my sympathy, my left brain has increased its gray matter.
Hmm.
It's increased. This space inside to where like I am more sympathetic, empathetic, and I try to do my part. I try to listen, try to be more open. I call my friends more, kind of, call my family more,
Hmm.
and even strangers. Like I have, we'll go on DM and just I'll hear them out. You know what I'm saying? I feel like I've helped some people that I've
Hmm.
never even met.
Right. Yeah, no, I think so. Like, I think that's like the good things about social media and Reddits and different forums. I think though they're communities that are designed to feel connected, but I know a lot of people are suffering from loneliness. So, like, how connected are we really, you know? But
Um, I think with social media is pretty gosh darn connected.
yeah. No, but I mean, maybe it's just this is kind of going on a tangent, but maybe it's like a connection, but in humans, we need real human interaction. Like I know community, but there might be different levels of community. Because like, why are so many people suffering from loneliness when we have like social media in our hands all day long? You know what I
Oh,
mean?
I see what you're saying. Like we can connect from with all these people in different states and countries, but like you need a hug.
Right.
You need somebody to hold your hand,
And I think that's the problem.
wipe your tears away. Like a community. Like I can't go like to my neighbor and be like, yo, I'm feeling like this, or can I like, or somebody come over my house and spill their beans and spill their guts. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like, so maybe that's the problem. Like, yeah, we have all this social media, but, and even some people who have social media pages that have no engagement. And it's like, because there's often times where I'll be like, social media is not very social. You know, people like, there's no, but I know that also has to do with the algorithm. Because only like, so people, so, like only, I think it's like 1% of your followers see your post. So don't think it's your content. Don't think you're the problem, but you could be, but that's not the main problem.
I think people are
But
looking for other people. Like I said, like I found that thread in Reddit because I was looking for that. I go on my algorithm does have like from goes from cats to Egyptian information to people depressed to
on Reddit or on
red pill
Instagram? On Instagram.
TikTok.
Oh, on TikTok, yeah. So that's what I'm saying. I don't know, like maybe there's certain communities online that are better suited for real or a better emotional connection. But I know that I know TikTok, Instagram, probably Facebook, probably Twitter, they all have some kind of algorithm that we don't. I mean, maybe the research is out there of how it feeds or how many of your followers or your friends see your post or suggested, like how many people are actually seeing your posts.
Well, if you now people are doing live, that's why people like TikTok because they'll post and then it goes automatically on the feed. I mean, your post is the feed, your post is the live. So it's like
Mm,
it'll be if you're scrolling, it can pop up anywhere, you know,
hmm.
as opposed to
But
like,
how many people are actually seeing that suggestion, though? You know what I mean?
sure,
Like
yeah.
that's all I'm saying. So that's why
That's why
I
you
just
hashtag.
yeah. But
Hashtag lonely, hashtag depressed, hashtag feeling blue, hashtag whatever. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, well that could probably connect people
Because
to,
people
but
are,
some people have to seek it. So
yeah,
that's
people are trying to find other people.
yeah. So you would have to seek
Like,
it.
I'm lonely. Are you? Who's lonely? Lonely, like, and then click on the hashtag and then find all the people who are lonely because they want to be found.
Hmm.
People are not posting just to post. I mean, it's a call for help
Oh, okay. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So, there's it sounds like there's ways around the algorithm.
because the Reddit, like mine for like the lonely one, I mean, it's in the thousands subs.
Hmm.
You know what I mean? Like we're all helping each other.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? So
Right.
we're
Yeah.
trying to connect.
Because 1 in 8 people globally lives with a mental disorder and this is from the World Health Organization.
One in who?
The World Health,
No, one out of what?
oh, 1 in 8 people globally live with a mental disorder. So every 8 people, there's at least,
Diagnosed,
yes. Yep. And depression is the leading cause of disability worldwide.
of course.
Suicide is the fourth leading cause of death among people aged 15 to 29 globally.
That's it.
Yeah. And then, okay, so here's more specifically for the United States. 1 in 5 adults experiences a mental illness each year, and that's from the National Alliance of Mental Illness. Um, Anxiety disorders are the most common, affecting over 40 million adults, about 19% of the population. Rates of teen and young adult depression have doubled in the last decade, according to CDC and Pew Research, which are both our main, I guess, uh, centers for disease and control or something like that in America.
I feel like as a person who has gone through therapy, I feel like if therapy was free and available for everybody, I feel like that number would decrease.
Yeah.
I'm just saying.
Yeah. No, I agree. I think so. Like I believe like all these like mass shootings and regular shootings and just everything that's happening in our society, people, they say, "Oh, guns don't kill people, people kill people." And I feel that, there's a lot of people out here suffering.
I mean, in
So,
my high school, like we had counseling. Like I remember I used to get in a lot of fights. And I would have to go to counseling. And then they'd be like, what's going on, Bishop? And I'm like, I'm just angry at my dad. You know what I mean? Like shit like that. So I wonder if they're still doing that.
I mean,
Or
there might be liabilities now, it might not be parental something parents want that service available for kids now. We don't know. Like I don't have kids in a school system, so I'm not sure. But I mean, they do have counselors, don't they? I don't know.
I
We'll
don't
have
know.
to look
You
into
have
that.
access to two young folks, so I don't do they
Yeah.
have counseling?
I'll ask them. I'll ask them.
Or their life must be so good that they don't need it. But yeah, ask if they have that for kids in their
Yeah,
school.
because I do know when we were in high school or when I was in the 90s, they did have counselors, but I don't
Yeah,
know.
they have
Like,
counselors.
yeah, things might have changed today. But based on what parents may or may not want in the school system or the availability for the students. But it's important. Like, I agree. Like, I feel like it should be there. It's very important. Um,
I mean, you could do all the gun banning, all you want, but it comes down to the who's holding the gun.
yeah,
You
like
know,
I agree with that.
like we just had the thing in New York. The guy killed like four people.
I
Saying
know.
like he's blaming it on CTE. Like if he had free healthcare, would he still have done that? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he did off himself. So it's like,
Yeah. And he didn't, which is crazy. I saw a statement where he said he didn't shoot himself in the head because he wanted them to study his brain, you know, which is wild.
very thoughtful.
Yeah. So, a very unfortunate situation, but this is happening way too often and all the time. But as far as suicide and goes. But so they're saying, because I was kind of curious, like, why are so many people depressed? Like, what's happening? And
Money. Now go ahead,
so
keep
yeah,
going.
no, that's what, yeah, that's definitely on the list. So social media use is strongly linked to increases in depression, anxiety, low self-esteem, especially in adolescence. The COVID-19 pandemic caused a spike in anxiety and depression by over 25%. And people, like you were saying, like people don't get treatment because for, the lack of access or just feeling hopeless or because they think there's some kind of stigma around getting help for how your brain is working, how your brain is functioning, basically.
I
Um,
think those protesters are mentally ill. Keep going.
wait a minute. What protesters? Are you just saying protesters in general?
Anybody who's protesting right now because of deportation and doing excessive violent things or being annoying or not caring about other people and just trying to do whatever they can to annoy ICE. And like those people, I think it was in Oregon, like they're making all this noise where the ICE people are sleeping, but they're also disturbing other apartment complexes who just regular citizens who want to sleep and they're making all this noise and they don't give a shit. Like they're just focused on one thing. Now you could say maybe they're paid and they're getting paid to do it, but there's a lot of people out there, especially out here in Los Angeles, who they just have time to obstruct laws and just out of pure what do you like
Crisis out of
humanitarianism if they think that what they're doing is a good cause, but they're breaking the law and they don't give a shit. Like something's
yeah,
going on. You
yeah.
break other people's stuff, you're breaking windows, you're destroying you're looting, what is that?
Well, I mean, that's, I'm sure, happening. I've seen clips and stuff about that, but just on a like larger scale, like just what's happening in America, like I don't really want to address all that stuff right now because we have plenty of shows on both of our views on that. But there's just a lot of stuff happening in our world, and it's causing people to have feelings like you're having, and it's causing people to go out there and protest. So I'm just going to leave it at that for right now. But to
I mean, there's
continue,
people on breakdown, they're having breakdowns online and outside. I mean, they are screaming, they're yelling. I mean, they're
yeah,
having
this is pretty.
mental breakdowns.
Yeah, like this is pretty crazy. Like I don't know if it's, people are, like their family is being deported and they don't like it. They don't feel it's right. I don't know if the media they're getting misinformation and they're being lied to. Like it could just be a number of factors. And that is also very important to this show because what we consume and what we watch, it really impacts our brains. And so, like, just to keep going, um, with what we were just talking about, like a lot of the reasons for mental illness, a lot of people are suffering from chronic stress and overload, just what you were talking about. Like all this, just the immigration, deportation stuff, it's stressful and it's causing people to have mental illness issues, whatever the reason. Constant pressure from work, finances, trying to survive. The brain gets overwhelmed and never getting a chance to like rest, reset, or heal. Social media and digital overstimulation, the doom scrolling, unrealistic images lead to anxiety, depression, and low self-worth. Our brains just weren't wired to receive all of this information. Like this is just too much information. Like we're in the information age, and like I think it may be, well, now I'm sure there's research, but in the future they're gonna find out how detrimental scrolling and being online and absorbing all this information is going to impact our human existence. I'm quite positive. A lot of people are suffering, like you were saying, from disconnection and loneliness. More people feel isolated than ever. And oh, this was like kind of interesting. Like loneliness is as deadly as smoking 15 cigarettes a day, based on the Surgeon General. So, like, these are real issues that we need to address as a society. Like, you can't have a healthy society and, or, like this, we just have to really take mental illness seriously. A lot of people also suffer because of unhealed trauma and childhood experiences. A lot of children have wounds for, childhood wounds, abuse, and neglect. And if you think about that, we've never been taught to heal. Like nobody's ever sat you down and was like, this is how you heal. Like there's nothing out here that teaches us how to heal on a wide scale. Or I feel like our society doesn't even really reinforce healing. It just reinforces trauma and, even social media. It's based on engagement, which is from negative, like most of the engagement online is from negative circumstances and gossip and all that stuff. So,
I think we give temporary fixes like
yeah, yeah,
drugs
coping,
and
ways to cope.
and then or giving you another addiction like um well I just had it like eating, sex,
Sex, all the pleasures, yep.
uh,
Vices, different vices.
yep, smoking, buying stuff,
Gambling is huge
gambling,
now, especially online.
food, um
A lot of
yeah,
things that anything that causes addiction to,
alcohol.
yeah, that's so social. Like it's a part of our American fabric. Or actually, it's just a social global thing, like to drink socially.
I mean, every
And
time I see somebody at the bar by themselves or smoking at a break by themselves, I feel like something's going on.
yeah,
It has to be.
but it's helping them to suppress something.
Yeah, they're coping, like you
Yeah.
said.
Yeah. Okay. And then the trauma reshapes the brain's response to stress, memory, and relationships. Poor nutrition, sleep, lack of sleep, and your gut health is so important. Like your gut and your mind is so connected. So if you're having a poor diet and you're not sleeping, you're, eating a lot of processed foods, a lot of sugar, that is going to mess up your mental clarity. It's going to give you brain fog. And, because I had started taking probiotics, like a gut probiotic. Like there's different strains. We can get into that one day. But I started taking this one for digestion. And so as soon as I started taking it, and it's, building different probiotics or strains in my gut, and I started dreaming and I never dream. Like it's so weird. Like I never dream. And I was having dreams like all the time. Like they're vivid. They were more vivid when I first started taking the probiotic. But now it's kind of like chilled out a little bit because, my microbiome is developed, I guess, or it has the bacteria in there doing whatever, the good bacteria. And so, like, why they were down there fighting or getting it together, I don't know. I don't really know, but I did have dreams and they were vivid for a while.
But why did you take probiotic?
Because it's good.
You're
Like
not
you're
boo-booing?
no, 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 I'm definitely regular. It wasn't like that. Like people should take because our bodies has good and bad bacteria. And so when you have too much bad bacteria, you'll see it in a lot of different forms. Like you might have digestive issues, you might have bad breath, you might have what do people use it for? There's just body odor, body odor. Like if you don't have enough good bacteria in your body fighting the bad bacteria, you're going to have issues in different forms. And so that's why people take probiotics because it just builds your gut microbiome, and your gut and your brain is just terribly like connected. Like there's no question about it. So food and nutrition is very important. Or poor nutrition is why people are suffering from mental illness. This is the last one. Hopelessness about the future. Like we were talking about that the other day. It's like people who are nihilists or suffer from nihilism who just don't think things are going to get better because of it could be economic instability, climate, climate change anxiety, political chaos, and violence makes people feel very powerless. And our society has so much of that. So a lot of people think things won't get better. And then the last thing that is causing a lot of mental illness is just the lack of support. People are afraid to talk about their struggles and ask for help. And when people want help, it's often too expensive and hard to access. So,
I just discovered a group called antinatalists who promote no kids because they believe in a doomed society,
hmm.
and they believe, in having children is morally wrong.
Oh, wow.
So I feel like that goes in there somewhere. You can say it's environmental, um, or in fear of consumption of resources, but we are having a no children deficit at this moment in America, and I think
Everywhere.
China. Oh yeah, well everywhere, yeah, sure.
Yeah.
Which can be due to male and female, issues. Yeah, I don't think it's a. I personally feel like we have more than enough resources as far as like money and food, and space, but we just everything comes down to finances
Yeah.
or economics, and
Yeah.
that is the problem. The problem isn't humans; it's humans who control the infrastructure with money, because it takes money to build the infrastructure because we chose it to be that way.
Well,
So,
yeah, we live in a capitalist society and it's expensive. And if you don't have money, you can't raise children.
because my biggest gripe right now is people being mad at billionaires who, regardless of how they earn those billions, it is conceivable that they can, if they distribute their wealth, everybody can be more successful in living, but they choose not to do that because of whatever reasons they have.
Well, the reasons mostly is because of taxes. Our government is not requiring them to pay.
But no, well, it doesn't. But
That's just technically why they don't pay, though.
it doesn't prohibit them from doing it as like a charity.
Well, yeah, if they do that, that's great.
Yeah, but they don't. That's people's problem. Like if Bezos just went out and said, everybody, you know, send me your issues, and then I'll be like Santa Claus and try to help you out. Like that would be great, but he doesn't do that, you know. And there's more billionaires and millionaires now due to Bitcoin and Ether, if Ether,
Yeah.
and
I
Ethereum.
mean,
And they don't do that. They keep it. They want to live lavish. I mean, they made the
but
choices, and they earned it, or it's generational.
right. But I mean, it's also those kind of people. I mean, I think they probably doesn't get enough credit or enough exposure, but I do know there are wealthy people who do give back and who do great things and have foundations, whether it is for tax purposes or whatever.
Yeah.
But people do give back, and it might not be shown on social media like that. But like somebody like Jeff Bezos, he has so much money. And but it's also not his responsibility. But I also don't know the man, but I do know there are other people who are very wealthy who are very greedy, and they also suffer from like scarcity, even though that they have billionaires or have like billions and billions and billions upon billions. But so it could be a bunch of different reasons.
So how is that not a mental disorder?
What?
to think that you have scarcity, even though you're financially well off, but you don't spend, you feel like you're going to lose it one
Hmm.
day. You keep it in the bank, you hoard your money. You're
Hmm.
like Smaug, in Lord of the Rings. It's like why that has to be a mental disorder as well.
I mean, I don't know. It could be, or it's something. It's some kind of anxiety. I don't have billions, so I can't speak on it. But if I did have billions, I would give away a lot of my money. I
Yeah, I
definitely,
wouldn't have billions because I would help everybody around me.
yeah. But
Cash rules.
the thing is, a lot of the issues that we have in America could be solved with, I mean, maybe not even $500,000. I think a lot of the main issues in America, as far as like hunger, homelessness, blah, 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 if people all followed the rules and went with the help, if I think I saw something like 200 million, that's all it would take. So that's why I say people who have billions and billions and billions of dollars, they could change the world if they wanted to, but it's not their responsibility. It's not. But I believe that they, just from my core values, they should pay more in taxes because they can afford it. They're not struggling. They will never struggle a day in their life.
But then with the exposure of all this fraud in the government, I mean, who knows if that would happen, if that would help, because a lot of people who are in control of those funds or our taxes now, so like they just exposed somebody now in the USA who was for fraud. You know what I mean? So it's like,
I mean, there's fraud at every level. People are
yeah, so
scammers.
how do we know, like, even if we did yeah, people scrambles, even if we did tax the rich at an equal rate, um who knows if those funds would get distributed fairly.
But that's not our responsibility. I mean, as long as we do the right thing and we do our thing, like, because that's how, I mean, how it about church, like, we would always hear, hey, if the church doesn't do right with the money that you give and your tithes and your offerings, you gave your money, you did your part. And if they don't do right by the money, then that's like on them. But I mean,
But that doesn't help us
but it'll be
feel that
exposed.
way.
It would be exposed
I
eventually.
mean, look at the fires right now over here in Los Angeles with Pasadena and the Palisades. Like nobody got any money from that concert that they did. They say they gave it to other charities. They say that whoever threw that fundraiser took that money and gave it to charities. But how do I know what charities you gave it to? I
Well,
thought you
there's
I thought you were
usually.
supposed to give it to us, but they're like, oh, we don't do that. We distribute it to charity. Okay, but those charities aren't giving those monies to the victims. Nobody's seen a penny of it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure that's happened, but a lot of people have received mutual aid. I've seen online, like, a lot of people are getting money, but they're like different organizations, they're supposed to be transparent and have all the details of where they give the money. Like, these things are documented for a reason because there are a lot of shady people, but not all organizations are shady. But when major organizations that we've all known our whole lives. I don't really want to say because I don't know how it ended up, but a lot of the like popular organizations like didn't do right by the money, you know?
Mhm.
And so a lot of people do worry about that. Like it's just embedded now in our psyche because it's happened on a major level where people are corrupt and haven't done right by the money. And if a company, like, we don't have much control over what people do with the money, but you hope they do the right things with the money. And if they're transparent and they have the details, then that's probably a good organization to give it to.
Like,
But
I would rather, if I was Bezos, I would rather have my own. I don't know. He probably does. Probably, I don't know what he does. I'll probably have my own foundation so I can wash it and then distribute it that fairly instead of having me have equal taxes with everybody, because I'm still paying my taxes just at a rate that is doesn't seem fair to the normal middle class, person or citizen. You know what I'm saying? But
But a percent is percentage based off of a dollar or based off of $100 is still the same percentage. It might be more that the billionaire is giving, but that person who only has $1, that percentage is still a lot for them.
but my
So
tax,
so it's fair.
but our taxes go to the government, right? Which in turn is supposed to help us out, right? Or help the
Yeah,
citizens. So,
right.
but what if I'm a billionaire and I just do that, keep my taxes the way they are, but I just create a charity where I can watch where my money goes.
Yeah, and they do.
Donations,
They do, but then a lot of people,
donations,
right, but a lot of people have
donations.
also have foundations where they don't, they just use it for tax purposes or they're not even funneling the money properly. So it's just, I mean, there's a lot of integrity issues with people
Agreed.
donating money and, even just like today, I heard that our taxpayer dollars is going into building a 300 million ballroom at the White House that's like all gold and gaudy. Like Carol, whatever, the Levitt lady, I think it was Carolyn Levitt, the secretary for the White House. She made this announcement like this was like a good thing, but our money's going to that, and I'd rather my money go to children or helping people eat, like not building
What
a,
if it's going to both?
but it's not. They cut those benefits. They cut the budget. So anyway, so moving forward, um, now that we know what causes are of mental illness, I just kind of wanted to, just because I'm a nerd and I find our bodies, like the anatomy of us, very interesting. So if you guys will just nerd out with me for a second, and I'm sure Bishop will make it interesting. But okay, so, and I guess the reason why I want to talk about the anatomy of the brain is to show us that the brain, there's so many parts to it, and we can possibly control or help and heal our brains if we know what's, how it's functioning and the components of it, and to um, possibly start the process of healing and changing our brain. And it's possible. And that's what I found in all this research is that we can change our thoughts. And I think if we change our thoughts, then a lot of people won't suffer silently or out loud. So, okay, the main components of the brain, the physical structures, the tangible parts that you could actually see, um, is the I can't pronounce things great. So jump in anytime if I'm saying it wrong. The cerebrum, it's the largest part of the brain. It's divided into the lobes, the frontal, parietal, occipital, and temporal. It handles the conscious thought, movement, and perception. Then we have the cerebellum. It controls the balance and coordination of us. The brainstem, it controls automatic functions like breathing, our heartbeat, and sleep.
That's
Um,
my favorite. My
the,
favorite part is the brainstem.
really? Yeah, because it's like so automatic. Like it's pretty awesome. And I did read that our brains, like the first humans, had smaller brains. And like our brains developed over time. Like the first brains were smaller and they didn't have a prefrontal cortex. But as we evolved and we needed to make more like reasoning and decisions, our brains developed a prefrontal cortex. So that right there just shows you like our brain is like a muscle, like it changes and it grows. And that even though that took millions of years, it's still possible um, for our
Yep.
brains to grow, which is
It's
pretty
called
cool.
evolution.
Yeah, so it's really cool because I guess like our brains our brains and our spines were like the first things I'm not explaining that right, articulating that right, but
to develop in the as an embryo. Yeah.
yeah. Okay, yeah.
Okay, well, can I just, okay.
Yeah.
That's why I believe, like, as far as abortion is concerned, they say that your brain doesn't develop until after like the seventh week. Hope that's right or something.
Mhm.
So even if you had an abortion during the first trimester, because people are usually worried about the
Baby
the
feeling it.
yes, the baby won't feel it.
I know.
Just the only thing that's really developed or in development is the heart. But so there's a heart but no brain. So
Right.
I'm still a shell.
There's no
There's
consciousness.
no conscience.
Yeah.
If you that can make you as a person feel consciously free of any wrongdoing, think about that. Like the brain isn't even
Yeah.
no nerves, no nothing.
Yeah.
So so that thing is in the clear.
Right. And but then there's, the people who are pro-life, they feel that it starts at conception. So I'm not
Which is
gonna,
fine. I'm just saying,
yeah,
like,
yeah. It's like I'm not gonna debate what people think, but just
scientifically,
yeah, scientifically.
there's no feeling. There's no person there. It's a
Exactly.
shell.
Right.
It's a shell with no nut
Right.
from a nut.
Exactly. From a nut. Exactly. Okay, so
People,
this is my favorite part of the brain. It's called the limbic system. It's deep in the brain, responsible for emotions, memory, and survival instincts, which includes the amygdala, which is the emotional processing center for fear and emotional memory, the hippocampus, memory formation and storage, and the hypothalamus regulates hormones, hunger, body temperature, and more. So those are like all the things that I feel like that's like our conscious and just the main functions of our body. And you could actually, those are physical, tangible parts, which kind of blows my mind. But anyways, okay, I'll get into some of that stuff a little deeper possibly. But the next thing, the microscopic structures, they're tiny, but they're real. These are small, but they're visible, they're not visible to the naked eye, are neurons, which are nerve cells that transmit signals, and we have 86 billion of them. The glial cells, glial cells, support, nourish, and protect the neurons. We have synapses, the tiny gaps between neurons where communication happens. Neural pathways, it's network connections between the neurons, and they form habits, memories, and learned behaviors. This is where it gets really interesting for me and hopefully for you. Okay, so neurons are like individual wires, and the neural pathways are the circuits created when they are wired together. So then the other components of our brain are the chemical messengers. They're not tangible but critical. These parts are the neurotransmitters, brain chemicals that help neurons talk to each other. Dopamine, when that's released, the chemical, it's by motivation, reward, and pleasure. Serotonin, mood, sleep, and digestion affects this. GABA, calming, anxiety regulation, and glutamate, learning and memory. Those are the neurotransmitters. And then hormones, these regulate your mood, stress, and energy. Cortisol is the stress hormone. Oxytocin is the bonding and love hormone, and adrenaline is the fight or flight hormone.
everybody knows oxytocin.
Right. Exactly. And cortisol. Like you hear a lot of stuff lately about cortisol, like when as you get older and you stress, like you get a lot of belly fat. That could be stress. That could be from stress. If you're doing all you can to lose weight in your elder years, could be stress, folks. Okay, so these are the systems of the brain that you can't point to, but this is how the brain works. And this is, I really like neuroplasticity. It's the brain's ability to change and rewire itself. That like blows my mind. Like we can rewire our brain, and in a few short moments, I will tell you how we could do that. Then we also have a default mode network, which activates when your mind is wandering or reflecting. So when you're like daydreaming, we have it's called a default mode network. And then there's mirror neurons that fire when you see someone else doing or feeling something, it helps you to empathize. So Um, I don't know. I just that's just the components of the brain that I think are cool to just know about and what's going on in our head and why. I guess this next part is it'll show us why we are suffering from so much mental like illness and anxiety and depression and all the things, loneliness. Um, I guess the biggest thing about this show, like, I just wanted us to think about like how we could change our brain. Um, and it's possible. Like it's really, really possible. And that happens through neuroplasticity. Like our brain rewires based on repetition and the environment. Every input creates or strengthens our neural pathways. Neural pathways are mental highways. The more you use them, the stronger they become. So, what you watch, read, listen will wires your brain. So, that's why it's so important.
Or if I take ayahuasca,
I mean, it'll rewire it, it'll give you a new impression, it'll give you a new idea.
a new
And
lease on life.
yeah, that's, I mean, not, I mean, I don't really know exactly the effects of it because I've never experienced it, but it would be a way to rewire your brain. I would have to agree with that. Um, okay, so the next thing is epigenetics. And epigenetics is kind of wild, what's happening in our brain. The way that I understand it, so we are given a DNA, right? But whatever you think and how you live and your lifestyle can change your genetics. Like it won't change your DNA, but your lifestyle can impact the next person in the next generation. Like your DNA could affect that, and it's called epigenetics. So
Even
it's
kids?
yeah, it affects your kids. So what you're doing with your life is going to affect your kids.
Well, yeah.
So as far as diseases, as far as your genes, so your genes can be turned on and off by choices, trauma, and your environment. Um, through your thoughts, stress, and habits will affect future health and behavior. And then,
Is that why they say alcoholism is hereditary?
yeah,
Because
like,
as a kid, obviously I'm not drinking, but is that like an excuse?
no, that is all tied into it. Like your epigenetics, it's the programming of your brain. And maybe, it's just passed on to
But
generations.
isn't that like just depends on you as an individual? Because if you do give in to alcoholism, you can use that as a scapegoat. But what about the kids who grew up with alcoholic parents or parent and they it turned them opposite. Like, oh, I saw my dad drink, so I'm not drinking. Like, how do you?
Yeah, well, that would change the generational curse. Like even spiritually, we call those generational curses and blessings. So like if you change your life, you could stop it from happening. And neuroscience is actually backing that up
Yeah, but how does
with
that?
epigenetics. Like you can stop it. Like if it stops with you, if you don't turn on that light switch in your DNA through the epigenetics, then it possibly will not transfer down. And
Yeah,
there,
so is that individual, or is there a way we can have everybody as mass as uh flip on that light so it doesn't pass on?
I mean, they would have to choose that. Like, yeah, each person within their own, because everybody has their own DNA and their own switches in their body.
But if it's a brain mechanism, can we just switch that on? We can go into the brain and switch it on.
Um, I don't think it's a physical component though. It's just like a function of the brain.
So they're just naming things to name whoever the scientists.
No, well, it's real. That's one thing I did look into. I was like, is this just like preliminary
It just sounds
or
like environmental situations,
factors
the
affect us,
factors shape, yeah.
shape us? Absolutely. But epigenetics, it's real. Like it's happening. It's not just like a figment of
Yeah,
somebody's
I mean but it's like they have to
theory.
name something to explain something.
Yeah. Well, they named it to explain what's happening.
Yeah, so but if me and you are related and we have the same parents, and what makes and I'm an alcoholic and you're not, how did that happen? We're in the same environment, we have the same class, we're raised by the same people, but it's just me watching Papa, drink just kind of inspired me, I guess, or whatever. Like, what are we going through that made me alcoholic and you not?
Choices. It just comes
Right. So
down.
is that epigenetics?
Yeah, epigenetics is based on choices.
So it's not a science. It's just
It's
like
it's an
a cause.
actual, it's like
It's a
yes,
cause and effect,
yes,
and
it's
they're
a
just naming it.
yes, it's an actual effect from the causes of your choices, whether what you think about or your lifestyle, your habits,
So it's not hereditary.
your thoughts. Well,
I'm getting loud. Alcoholism is not hereditary. It's what you as an individual choose to do.
right,
Then after that, you can use that as a scapegoat because you saw somebody in your life do that. But
unless you
that
change it,
that
you
doesn't
have to,
explain how
yeah.
other people use the same situation and they didn't
Yeah,
go that
so
route.
if you change that route, your next generation will have a better chance of not continuing with alcoholism based on epigenetics.
But it did. But what if you don't grow up with that and you just like James Bean? You know what I mean?
Right. Well, then
So like your environment.
something in your DNA was either like the on and off switch. From what I understand it's something that like if it's on, it will protect this, and if it's off, it won't protect that any further. Like it's literally like binary, like a on and off type of situation. So it'll either protect you or it won't based on your decision and your thought. That's how it works.
So there's no scientific explanation of it. It's just how you as an individual grow up and you make human choices.
Yes, but those human choices have real impact on your life
Well, yeah, of course.
and your next generation.
I don't know. I don't believe
But
that.
yeah, well, you don't have to believe it, but that's just what it is.
Yeah,
Like
it's not.
the way that people's brains work,
Mm,
just read about it later.
yeah, it's
It's
impossible. That's impossible.
yeah. Well, maybe I'm not explaining it right, but it's scientific, it's factual, it's real. Like
How can that be real if my environment shapes my, I guess my how I act, shapes
What do
my
you mean?
personality, my behavior, because like rich and poor people can be alcoholics or
Right.
drug addicts.
Yeah, it
Like it
has not.
doesn't matter.
Yeah, it has
It,
nothing to do with that.
it matters how you as an individual.
Yes.
So that has nothing to do with my parents.
I mean, it's your DNA. Your DNA is from your parents,
But
right?
what if my parents never did cocaine and then I do cocaine? Because I'm dealing with something different. I'm in a whole new era, a whole new generation. I'm dealing with different things that my parents never dealt with. I need to cope with cope cope how to I have to deal with the cope with cocaine.
Okay, so if you, based on epigenetics, which is wiring of our brains and our body, it's a biological reaction. By you introducing cocaine into your DNA, into your body, it could possibly pass to your next generation. Because
So only negative things, like like like
no,
chem, like I'm sorry, only chemical things
um,
can be passed down, which still doesn't explain alcoholism.
yeah, well, I'm not the expert. I'm not the expert. I'm just like telling, like introducing us to what epigenetics is. So I can't like break it down all the way. But I guess I could chat GPT it up. I'll just think of your genes like light switches. Your DNA is the wiring.
What you said.
Your DNA is the wiring. It's fixed like a blueprint. Epigenetics is what turns certain switches on or off, meaning your environment, choices, stress, diet, trauma, and habits can influence how your genes behave without changing the actual DNA, but your
Yes.
genes. So genes equals the blueprint. Epigenetics is how the blueprint is read and used. Your example, alcoholic father. Let's say your father struggled with alcohol addiction. That could influence your gene expression. That could influence your gene expression because his lifestyle, alcohol use, trauma, stress could have changed how his genes were expressed.
Okay,
Some
real quick. So everybody has the chance of being alcoholic, right? So is epigenetics saying that I have a more increased chance of being an alcoholic because I had a father who was an alcoholic?
Well, I don't know. Hold on. Let's see what it says. Some of those epigenetic markers, like on and off switches, can be passed down to you, not the addiction gene itself, but maybe a higher sensitivity to stress,
Uh,
impulsivity, impulsivity, or how your body processes alcohol.
So is this like, oh, some people have addictive personalities and some people don't?
So how does that affect you? You might be born with a predisposition, like being more vulnerable to cravings, anxiety that you try to soothe with substances, okay, a body
We all have
that
cravings.
a body that doesn't handle alcohol well, but epigenetics is not destiny.
That's physical. Keep going, sorry.
If you choose not to drink, eat well, manage stress, heal trauma, create healthy habits, you can change your gene expression. You're flipping off switches that might otherwise lead to addiction or illness, and you may even break the cycle for your kids by passing down healthier epigenetic markers.
It just seems like they're trying to find like a visual connection between something that is not physical. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, it's just how our brain works.
It's like there's X and Y chromosomes, but we know they don't look like X and Y. Like when they explain it to you in science class, they give you the X's and the Y's and it flies around. These are chromosomes, but they don't look there. There's no look like neurons and photons. There's no look to it when they explain it. So when they're explaining epigenetics, which is just behavioral possibilities, I mean, that's it's just like a diagram or something to how you to explain
Yeah,
human behavior.
whatever gene expression technically means, like it doesn't change your DNA, but whatever genes, okay, so when we were talking about, oh, he has good genes, you know what I'm saying? Like people be
I
like,
have American Eagle pants.
no,
Oh,
not those kind of genes. Are you serious? You can't be serious. You're not serious. Okay. So when people are like, oh, he has good genes, then I think that's what the gene expression is that they're talking about. Like that it could come out in you or it could come out in your next generation.
okay. So you know how people be like, oh, I don't know, like, oh, Bishop has he's very assertive. He probably got that from his father. It's like, how do you know I got that from my father? Oh, I'm saying, okay,
Yeah, yeah. No, basically, yeah, you're on the right track
but
there.
what if
I could follow
but what
you.
if my father, even though you knew that, I didn't know that because he's different in the house. So maybe I got that, for me personally, got that from a teacher
It's
because I
possible because it's
because
in
I
your
saw.
environment.
Yeah, exactly. But it's not it has nothing to do with
Well,
genetics.
that part might not. I'm just saying, whatever we consume, whatever we feel, whatever we think about, whatever we experience, whether it's in our DNA or if it's from an external factor, will affect us in some
Yeah,
way.
because everybody has the potential to be an introvert or extrovert, right? It just depends on your environment, right? It's not
I don't know how that's
it's
determined.
not hereditary. It's not hereditary. Like your mom could be introverted, but you just, because how many parents have like, yeah, I don't know how my daughter is a singer and just goes and talks to everybody at 16, 17, 18. When I was at her age, I never did that. Like,
Right.
you know what I'm saying? Like
But it
we
could
all are
be
open book,
but it could be from your
a blank
grandfather
slate.
or from your great grandparents because there's things that my grandma, like my grandma does this all the time. Like there's things I see. Okay, just let me finish this example. I was sitting on the couch and I was doing my lips, like I was doing that. And I do it all the time. And my dad does it, and my brother does it. But my grandma said that her dad did it. So it's like I got that trait from him. I got that gene expression from him.
Or maybe you as a
But I've
kid.
never met him and I've never noticed anybody in my family doing that, but we all can do it. Like it's in our DNA, it's in our genes.
But did you see your dad do that?
I've never seen my dad. I've never noticed it that I did it until my grandma said that I did it. And she made me aware that when I do because I was thinking, and she was like, wow, my dad would do that. You know what I mean? So there's things like, and even like my brother, I've seen my brother and my dad, like they'll be sitting by each other and they're like sitting the same way. And it's like nobody taught them how to sit like my dad never said, son, sit like this. You know what I'm saying? So there's something there, whether it was maybe a conscious or a subconscious notice, or it's just in us. And based on epigenetics, it's just in us or it can be learned. It could be either or, or and actually, and not or, it's and. So I don't know. So you either it's that this is new information for me and and this is new information for you and everybody else, I'm sure, because I probably heard about epigenetics 2 years ago for the first time. You know what I'm saying? So like look into it. It's very fascinating. But okay, moving on because it's going to be a 3 hour show. But I'm almost done, you guys. But I just think this is good information for us to know what is happening, possibly. But this is all backed scientific research. Like they've been studying all this stuff for decades. So let's keep going. Um, Whew, that was a tough segment. Thanks, Bishop. That was good. But anyways, you're challenging me to like think about it, and it's like you're raising great points. So, anyways, okay, we'll get back to that. Okay, so the next thing, our brain is like a filing cabinet, and that's why we can't just forget things. So that's why it's important what we experience, what we feel, what we see, what we do, because our minds do not allow us to forget because it's a memory storage and it knows how to like tag our different emotions. Like it even prioritizes like our experiences to what's important to us in that moment. Like our brain does so many things automatically, it's ridiculous. Okay, so the hippocampus, it stores and organizes long-term memory. The amygdala adds emotion to memories like trauma, joy, shame, etc. The prefrontal cortex replays situations, overthinks, and reinforces memories. Synaptic strengthening, long-term potentiation, shit, potentiation. Sorry, guys. Woo, that was. Woo. Okay, anyway, so the more you revisit a memory, the more it sticks. Sensory encoding is why smells, sounds, and touch bring back memories. And then the default mode network is why our brain brings up memories when you're idle or daydreaming. Um, so yeah, like that's pretty cool. I think like how our brain stores things. Okay. All right. So our brain, like this is why like our brain when we have trauma, certain memories just don't go away because of triggers. And like you hear that all the time now. Oh, that triggered me or that this da, da, da. And it's true because our brain doesn't get rid of anything. It doesn't delete anything. It just suppresses what we've experienced or what we thought or what we felt. So it's repressed memories and has subconscious effects. Our brain, like it doesn't erase, it buries things. Um, and then we already talked about the mirror neurons, but that's where you internalize pain, fear, or patterns just by watching or being around others. We're always programming our brain. So everything you consume and repeat forms your mental habits. Yeah. Yeah. Everything that you consume and repeat forms your mental habits. So that's why you have to watch what you do. Because like if you're doing something good or if you're doing something bad, that's reinforcing that habit. And that's gonna be in you forever. So
So
you
all
just
these things you brought up just seems like whatever they control, it could be manipulated if I went in there with a tweezer. If I went into your brain with a tweezer and I pull something like a strand out, like that could take away
but
compulsion or addiction.
But how would you know which neuron to clip? You know what I'm saying? Because that's the thing. There's 86 billion neurons that are transmitting all of these thoughts and feelings and chemicals. So you couldn't necessarily do that. But I mean, you could maybe smash somebody's hypo or the cerebrum or something.
Cerebellum or the
Yeah, you know what I mean? Then
medulla.
that's brain damage. Like our brain houses everything. Like it's our operator.
Does
It's
the brain can the brain fix itself? You know how like skin repairs? Do organs repair?
some of them, I think, regenerate. Some organs regenerate. But the brain, I don't think it necessarily repairs, but it does shrink. Like if you don't use certain skills or certain parts of your brain, like as people get older, if you stop being using your brain, talking, reading, you know, you're gonna lose your brain will shrink in certain areas.
So
So,
if you're in prison and they put you in solitary confinement and you've been in there for a minute, your brain will shrink because or like the people who are like on the streets and then when they when they first began on the street they were very coherent and years later they start talking to themselves, develop a little bit of schizophrenia, maybe a multi-personality because they've been by themselves on the streets this whole time.
Yeah, that's possible. Yeah, that's definitely one of the reasons why that happens.
But what if I, through science, can take that out or take your addiction away or your compulsions away?
Well, you can in a way. So we're almost there. Bear with me. We're gonna get there, you guys. Like all the questions that I think what you're trying to get at, there's ways that you can reprogram your brain. You can the neuroplasticity, the neurons, all that. You can like restructure your neural pathways. Like it's possible.
Yeah, like if we like most of the homeless situation is because of drugs. So what if we could take away that addiction through surgery
That
or
would be,
pills?
but that would be, I mean, it could be something that Elon's working on with Neuralink. I don't know. Like it could be something coming down the road, but I wouldn't want anybody playing in my brain like
Yeah,
that.
like what if we could like suppress, you could put like a suppression mechanism in your brain, which will make you take that away and function better, like you
Well,
never had it.
right. Yeah, I mean it's possible. I'm not saying it's not possible because like when you take medicine, like if you take Tylenol, I remember I heard this a long time ago. Like Tylenol doesn't heal you. It just tells your brain to stop making that part or
It's like a
that
placebo.
it works because you don't feel the pain, but it's stopping that chemical from telling you, oh, there's pain or inflammation.
Oh, see that's suppression.
Yeah, so that's why I'm saying what you're talking about is not far off, but I
So
don't.
here's the thing. So they know this is suppression. So in order for them to keep so they don't so they give you the companies, they give you a temporary solution,
Right.
which actually helps. But in order for them to capitalize on it, they make it only temporary.
Yeah.
Is it possible that there is a permanent solution? But if they do that, they won't be able to make money off of you.
Right. Well, the permanent solution is a lifestyle change through your thoughts, through your diet, through what you're consuming in every way. Like that's the root cause of it all. Because, with pharmaceuticals and all that stuff, it's just putting a band-aid over the real issue. It's treating the symptoms. It's not treating the cause
I
necessarily.
know, but to defeat the issue would take like a one-time fee, right? So they don't do that because they want you to be consistent as a patient, so they can keep making money off of you. But what if we can make a solution through surgery or pill that can just defeat all your ailments as far as like addiction and compulsion? Then that would be great.
Well, I think
This
they
is transcendence.
right, but I think I don't take a lot of pills, so because I like doing things naturally, but I do believe they have things that help with addiction, don't they?
Yeah, but it's not permanent. Like you have to make that
Well,
choice. Like there's people who were on heroin and or whatever drugs, and now they've kicked, right? They kicked the habit. Like how do they do that? Are they replacing it?
lifestyle change.
Yeah, are they replacing it with something else, which is more,
Well, that weans you off of whatever your
yeah,
addiction
which is
is.
more what do you call it? More productive or more was it conducive? Does that make sense? For them to be in a more like a positive lifestyle, or did they just say cold, not cold turkey, but like just take it off and then just became like a normal human being or a civilian patron of society? They just said, "All right, you know what I'm saying? Like, how many people have you met that, oh, I used to do, meth or heroin or cocaine all the time for like 5 years straight, and now I just kicked it." But it's like, what did you replace it, or did you just like cold turkey it? Like, how did you
Right.
do it?
It depends on the person.
Yeah.
Because I mean, I
I'm
used
saying so like an overall. the solution would be to go in there and take that part out of your brain or suppress it. But go ahead.
But they could, I mean, yeah, there might be a pill
You know
that
what I mean?
could,
Because some people can't do that. They'll be
right,
on fentanyl until they die. You know what I mean?
right.
Like, but if I can take that away in your brain and suppress it or take it out, that would be way better, right?
Right. And I think they have stuff that can do that temporarily, but you have to make a lifestyle change. Like I don't think there's anything that could do it permanently. Like you could, I mean, what if it wears off? What if, I'm just thinking of people who
Well,
take, well, people who take like Ozempic or, weight loss pills.
yeah,
I think Ozempic's a shot, but, or, even if you get like the gastric bypass, like they chop off your,
but that's physical though.
they staple your stomach or whatever,
Mhm.
you have to change your lifestyle. You have to like eat less or you're gonna bust your stomach, you know what I mean? And it
Mhm.
won't work. And even, but I mean, like something that addiction, I mean, yes, that is a mental thing. And I'm sure there's probably a pill for it, whatever to help with addictions. I'm sure of it. But I just think the root cause is you have to have a lifestyle change. Because, like, what if the efficacy of the pill wears off or it's not as strong, or some things just pair well when you don't do it?
What I'm saying, like a permanent uh fix
Right.
that will never that will never come back.
Right.
Not
Yeah.
like a suppre not like a Neuralink or something, and then if I take it off, all of it comes back, all my addiction, all my, that feeling comes back. Like not like something, there has to be something. If they can give you pills to suppress it, they also have the pill to fix it.
Possibly.
But that doesn't, then we come back to capitalism because that doesn't generate me money.
Right.
It won't
Yes.
generate, yeah, you know what I'm saying? It's not
Yeah.
like
Like, yeah, people, I
if I
mean,
cure you, you won't come back.
right. I just like going to the doctor, but I did go recently and this lady, not too recently, but this lady, my doctor, she was like, we just treat the symptoms. We don't cure you. Like she straight up told me. And I was just like,
Yeah,
then what's the
all
purpose?
do that.
I don't need your help. You know what I mean? And they didn't help me. I figured out my own issue. But anyways, so like that's why I'm saying it's important to know how our body works so you can be an advocate in these different medical situations to get to the real answer because they're not trying to help us like that. And for whatever reason, whether it be capitalism or they don't have the they don't have the solution yet. But hold on, I'm gonna ask: is there a pill that um, takes away people's addiction from substance abuse? Okay, so there's no magic pill that completely removes addiction, but there are medications that can reduce cravings, block the high, or help manage withdrawal symptoms. These are usually most effective when combined with therapy and support, not used alone. So, here are some commonly used medications for substance abuse: alcohol addiction, naltrexone, Vivitrol. Oh, I already know I'm gonna be messing up a lot of these words, you guys. Blocks the feel-good effects of alcohol you drink, but don't get the reward. Reduces cravings. Comes in a daily pill or monthly injection. A prostate comprol helps the
Jesus
brain.
Christ.
It's a huge word. ACAMPROSATE and then CAMPRAL, you guys. I'm just gonna spell it out from this point forward. Helps the brain normalize after quitting, reduces the desire to drink. Oh my gosh. And then disulfiram, anti-abuse. Oh my gosh. So anyway, so they had, and there's one for opioid addiction, heroin, fentanyl, oxy, which is, methadone. They have some other ones. Tobacco, the nicotine addiction, nicotine replacement therapy, the gum, the lozenges. Um,
Patches.
Yeah. So they don't erase the emotional roots, trauma, and habits behind the addiction. They don't cure the addiction. They're tools to help a person. So addiction is brain-based condition involving dopamine, trauma, coping, and behavior patterns. Medication helps, but recovery is most successful when it includes therapy, spiritual emotional well-being, or emotional healing, accountability, community, a reason for hope and change. So a lot of this
Well,
stuff comes
the
down to the person.
addiction is, but what the reason why we have those addictions is because we want that feeling that whatever that substance gave us at that time, right? Even if I'm happy, I'm still probably gonna do cocaine because I just want to have an advancement of happiness, right?
For that moment, but it's all temporary. Like
Yeah,
none of
that's why
that
we
stuff is
keep going.
lasting.
Yeah, that's why we keep taking it or keep buying it or
But then that's
weed,
when you
gummy
ruin
bears,
your
whatever.
life. Yeah, but that's when people ruin their lives and ruin their families and end up in a terrible situation. Like people have to step back at some point or hopefully have people in their lives that will help them step back because it's really hard to do on your own. But for myself, I used to smoke cigarettes for years and I stopped myself cold turkey because I was dealing with like anxiety and some crazy stuff, but um cigarette smoke was not helping. Like cigarettes, I heard, increased my anxiety and I wanted to be done with, I didn't want anxiety anymore. So I got healthy. I started eating better, started working out. Like I literally changed my life. Well, with God's help, absolutely with God's help. But I was by myself. So I didn't have anybody that was there to like help me heal from that or stop that addiction. Like there's just certain things in our lives like we have to do ourselves. And but not everybody's made like that either. So that's why, having the proper support and therapy and programs and all that is helpful because there's no quick fix. There's no, like they said, no magic pill to do it permanently. So, okay, moving on. But these are great. Let's keep going. Okay, so mental detox is real. You can't unsee, unhear, or unknow how your brain is literally shaping around something. Any questions before we move forward to the healing of the brain and how to rewire the brain?
I guess that part is the detox part, right? Like what if you take me away from my environment that is a detriment to my health,
And not many people could do that.
and then like go take me to a country or a cabin in the woods,
That requires money though.
am I gonna like do I'm detoxing myself, which is a period of me having to deal with not being able to have my fix.
Right? And then maybe you get back in that, and you hear this all the time. You get back in that environment and you're right back with your old friends, your old buddies, and you whoop, 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 be back to where you were. So it is good to
But some
detach.
people can do that like because they want to give back and they want to help people because they've been where they've been. So what's the difference between that person and the other person who shouldn't go back because they'll just get back into the habit?
It could be their epigenetics or their makeup. Their makeup. It's like, it's in me. Like that's another example of DNA, genes, epigenetics, whatever. It's in me. It's whatever, like a lot of people are just made differently. And some people could withstand it, some people can't. Some people want to help others and are strong enough to. Like me, I haven't smoked a cigarette in so long, and I've been around it, and it
But
doesn't
but
bother
what are
me.
you but what are you replacing it with?
I replaced it with good things. I didn't. I replaced it with, like I said, exercise. I replaced it. I got in my word. I started eating better. I just started, that helped me lose weight and just, working out because you can't work out and can't breathe. You know what I mean? So because I didn't replace it with weed
But
because
it's different, yeah. But it's a different feeling though. Like obviously when you smoke, smoking is different than you eating broccoli. You know what I'm saying?
but no,
So
that
is it that it has to be I'm saying you have to replace
I
that in
wanted
your
it.
brain with something.
I was exhausted. I didn't want to smoke anymore. Like that's what it comes down to too. I did not want to smoke anymore. That's just what it was. And I had to do everything I could to not do that. And I sacrificed. Like I understand what sacrifice means.
So
I
how do you
understand discipline.
so how do you feel when you say you've been around it? How do you feel when you see like somebody let's say you obviously you have access to it.
I go to the casinos and like
Yeah. So
there's
how do
smoke
you
all
deal with
around
that?
me. I just it's
Like
not
how
me.
asking, so hey, can I get a square? You know what I'm saying? Like,
It's not me anymore. It's
is
just
it,
not.
but do you, when you smell it, like, do you feel disgusted now?
Yeah, like I'm just like, ooh, how are you smoking so much? Like it's because I used to smoke all the time, like packs and packs on packs, and it's just a horrible lifestyle. And I just also came to the terms like I don't want to die. And then also came to the terms like if I'm trying to like rap and do all these things, like it hurts it was a detriment to my goals. And I knew that. And so that helped me more than anything, I guess. You know what I'm
Or is that
saying?
just a part of you growing up?
What do you mean? I mean,
Because
whatever it is, yeah, I stopped it. I did not want it in my
I
life.
used to drink 40s as a kid because that was the environment around me.
Were
Then,
you addicted to it though? We're talking about addiction. Or
I
were
don't
you
know.
just
If
doing
I
that?
did it all the time, does that mean I'm addicted?
Yeah.
Like I wasn't, fiending for cash. I need another Coke 45. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Okay. Well, then it wasn't addiction because I was addicted to
But I
cigarettes.
was drinking all the time. It's like a weekend thing. But then, I'm out of that environment. I don't have those friends anymore. I just grew up, right? Is that just that's part of your
It can be. Yeah.
adolescence? You
Yeah,
know what I'm
it
saying?
can be, but I wasn't an adolescent when
Well,
I
not adolescence. I mean,
like
like
I
it phases. It's like a phase in your life.
Yeah, it's definitely a phase because that could also another thing that just popped in my head is it could be a form of epigenetics because all of my family members, like this is very interesting. My grandma, like my grandma, my aunt, my dad, they all smoked cigarettes when they were my young and then they quit. So maybe it was just the I was susceptible to that and I went down that path and then I quit either because I chose to quit or because it's just in me to do it for a little short period
Yeah.
of time
How do
because
we
of my
know that?
gene, because of my blueprint.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't know.
It's just by chance that you just started pick up smoking and then you smoke in your 20s and now you don't smoke anymore.
well, I didn't, it wasn't by chance that picked up smoking. My environment caused me to smoke or because I was super young and you're with your friends and I just ended up being
Yeah, which
addicted.
is normal.
Yeah, yeah. But I continued it for a long time.
Yeah, which is normal.
Yeah, but I also quit. So I mean, I'm not arguing if it's normal or not normal, but it's just what happened and it's just part of life. But I did quit on my own because I wanted a lifestyle change. I didn't want to do it anymore.
Okay, Patty LaBelle, we can move on.
What does that mean? Did she have a song? She had a song called Lifestyle Change.
On my own.
Oh, you stupid. But it's true. It's super
Yeah, I
true.
got this way on my
Okay,
own.
so like as we talked about neuroplasticity and those, like what you put in your mind is what is reinforced. So if it's good stuff you're putting in your mind, or if it's bad stuff that you're experiencing or putting in your mind, it's reinforcing your mental your pathways.
Remind
Yeah, like your neurons, all that. And you can change. Like I can't say this enough. You can change your thoughts. Like if you have a bad thought and you recognize that it's a negative thought, if you start giving yourself affirmations and changing that thought, you won't have that thought anymore.
Is this like the big sciencey way of explaining will?
Yeah, but I mean, that's the cool thing about it. Like, there's science behind it. Like, if we know how our brain works, we could stop the voices in your head. You could stop. Well, so, I'm not saying like don't consult a therapist or a doctor or whatever, but there are things that we could do every day to help us, counteract our mind's automatic functioning. So, and this is how you do it, everybody.
I think I'm
Okay.
beyond that. Now I'm trying to bend spoons. Keep going.
We'll get into that. It's like, what does that mean actually before I start?
I think I've mastered my high. I've had knowledge of self. I think what do you call it? I can't control my feelings. I've dealt with my feelings. So now I don't have an addiction. I don't have a habit or an addictive personality. So now, but the next step is to bend spoons.
Wait, but why would you bend spoons? What is
Because
that?
now I'm on to telepathy and ESP because I've done all the work.
Yeah, so you're
Yeah.
good.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
now the next step is to bend spoons.
All right, cool. Exactly. No, you could. I mean, you can use your mind to achieve a lot of things because, like, if you have self-worth and you believe in yourself, then yeah, I think you can do some pretty amazing things with your mind. And
Bend,
that maybe that'll
bend
be another
spoons.
show. That could be another show. But anyway, so okay, so here are some inexpensive, free ways to rewire your brain, reprogram your brain. Okay, so by practicing daily gratitude, it activates the brain's reward system, dopamine and serotonin. It rewires your brain to notice what's working instead of what's missing. Um, every morning, say three things you're grateful for every morning and night. You could even do gratitude journaling and do affirmations, self-talk. Repeating affirmations literally strengthens neural pathways connected to your self-concept. Be specific, believable, and present tense. For example, I am growing in confidence every day is a proper affirmation. Do not say I'm perfect and nothing's wrong. So, and say these out loud because your brain learns faster with spoken words. Okay, thought spotting when you catch the lie. Use cognitive reframing when a negative thought hits, pause and flip it and rub it down. I always mess up. Okay, that's the bad thought, right? I'm still learning and I'm improving every time. This interrupts old mental loops and lays down new ones. Over time, the negative thought gets weaker, the truth becomes your default. So try asking yourself, is this thought helping or harming me? Okay. Ooh, this is my favorite little tidbit part. But like scripture, get into your Quran, your Torah, your whatever your Bible, whatever book you reference. Meditation as well. And this is renewing your mind. From the Christian perspective, Romans 12:12, it's basically like neuroscience in action. Be transformed by the renewing of your mind. One of my favorite scriptures. And so that's like even the Bible talks about how important it is in teaching us how to renew our minds. Meditating on truth replaces lies and trains your brain to dwell on what's pure, lovely, and praiseworthy. Philippians 4:8. And meditation also shrinks the amygdala, the fear center, and strengthens the prefrontal cortex, your reasoning and peace part of your brain. Okay, last couple things. The vision boards and visualization. When you visualize something repeatedly, your brain starts treating it like it's real, a real memory. That's what this is all about. Like you're just really changing your thoughts and your memories. Like it's crazy what we have the power to do. So this creates new expectations and emotional responses, even before anything physically changes. Imagine peace, wholeness, joy, not just outcomes, but feeling of living in that space. Limit negativity input, like detox your life, detox your feed, detox just everything, your people who are not good for you. Just let all that go because you want to rewire for joy. You can't keep feeding your brain anxiety, gossip, or chaos. Curate your social media, your social settings, where you get your news, the music you listen to, and your friends or your environment that people you spend a lot of time with. Like just pay attention to what you invest your time in because people could be your encouragement, your edifiers, or they'll be your downfall. Um, so what you consume is what you become. Your brain, this is fire. Your brain believes your diet, even your digital one. So like your brain believes everything that you tell it. Everything that it sees, like it doesn't have like it just believes everything that you're telling yourself. I think that's so huge. Um, Also, always celebrate the small wins. Every time you acknowledge progress, no matter how small, your brain releases dopamine. This motivates your brain to keep going. It's like training. Yeah. So we like praise. So always praise yourself. Always big up yourself. Um, and then community and conversation. Your brain has mirror neurons. So surrounding yourself with joyful, encouraging people literally changes your thinking patterns. Positive environments equal positive thoughts. So yeah, that's how you reprogram your brain and it doesn't cost money. And just the last couple things, the way to keep your brain healthy and functioning at its best. Move your body. Exercise increases blood flow, boosts memory, and grows new neurons. So that's pretty cool. I guess you can grow your brain. Or actually, well, neurons are an actual physical component. So just 20 to 30 minutes a day helps. Eat brain food, omega 3s, which is salmon and walnuts, leafy greens, berries, turmeric, dark chocolate. Avoid too much sugar and processed junk because it causes inflammation in your entire body, in your brain. Get quality sleep, 7 to 9 hours per night, because that's when your brain detoxes, resets, and stores memories. That's pretty interesting. Limit stress. Chronic stress shrinks the hippocampus and messes with your memory. Use breath work, prayer, journaling, or mindfulness to calm your nervous system. Stay mentally active. Read, learn new skills, do puzzles, use it or lose it applies to your brain. Stay socially connected. Talk to real people. Community protects your brain from decline. Protect it from toxins. Avoid substance abuse. Manage screen time. Filter negative inputs. What you consume shapes your brain. We talked about this. Practice gratitude and positive thinking. This actually shifts your brain chemistry and strengthens optimistic neural pathways. And that's like we can do this, you guys. Like, woo, we could do this. So yeah, I that's how we stay healthy. That's how we keep our brains active, especially as we get older. Like, don't just veg out in front of the TV. Like your brain will it needs to get exercised. It's a muscle, you know? So you have to do crossword puzzles, read, write, learn something new, learn a language, just anything.
I
'Cause-
download apps on my phone. I have a color one called Hue. I have the word one, and then your basic Candy Crush. I think all that helps.
Yeah, no, like puzzles and figuring things out, like that's so good for your brain.
You know, like because video games, you play video games as a kid, it helps your hand-eye coordination.
All
You
right.
know,
Yeah, for sure, for sure. The way we forget stuff is if you have weak encoding. Your brain didn't save it well in the first place. So you are either not focused, emotionally engaged, or repeating it. The memory wasn't stored deeply. Um,
Well, yeah, that makes sense.
yeah. And then lack of repetition, memories fade if they're not revisited. Neural pathways weaken over time. Use it or lose it. Stress overload blocks memory formation in the hippocampus. Your brain prioritizes survival, not memorization. Sleep deprivation can mess up your memories. Your brain won't even be able to file it. That's wild to me. It's like if you don't sleep, your brain doesn't like store memories. Um, Pretty much. Oh, and then people who remember everything, they have a highly developed memory skill. Like some people might train for memory. Stronger encoding, they pay attention and deeply emotionally engage with what they see or read. They might have unusual brain wiring. A small number of people have highly superior autobiographical memory, HSAM. They can recall every day of their life in vivid detail. Or
Is that a
neuro,
little bit of autism?
well, that's neurodivergence. And people with autism or savant syndrome display extraordinary memory abilities. Promise my last detail. The animals with complex brains, if anybody's interested, these animals have highly developed brains and nervous systems. Dolphins and whales, they have complex social behaviors, self-awareness, emotional intelligence. Elephants, strong memory, empathy, morning rituals. Crows and ravens, problem solving, tool use, and planning. Octopus, they highly, I didn't want to say that all the way. They're highly intelligent, great memory, have multiple brain centers in their arms. And then dogs and primates, strong communication, emotional bonds, and learning abilities. So we're all the most developed creatures on this planet. So,
So we win.
yep, yep, yep. But it's pretty fascinating what our brains do and how we have the power to control a lot in our life by, oh, that's kind of deep. Our heart. Whatever's in our heart will be in our brain. So, whatever's in our heart, we'll think on that. So, I think it's important to make sure your heart is pure.
Which is technically your brain,
Yeah. Yep.
because just heart just means
It's
like
more,
above.
yeah, that's more like yeah. But your feeling, it's all connected. Your brain, all that.
In your
So,
feelings.
yep, yep, yep. So sorry, you guys, that I talked so much and kind of just talked at you, but I thought it was, I don't know, I thought it was interesting. Of course I would, right? Because I wanted to do it. But anything you want to say?
No, I mean for the people, I guess you have homework, look up epigenetics
That's what he's gonna be looking at.
and neurodivergence.
Yep. Cool. Well, thank you guys for hanging out with us. And I just hope you guys have some beautiful thoughts and dreams. Until next time, make sure you subscribe to us on YouTube, follow us on our socials, and you can find that in the description. Thank you.